Hey everybody, welcome back. Jim Crane here once again to show you this bag here. It's made by Bexar Goods. It's called the Porter Satchel. Bexar Goods is based out of Bexar County, Texas, which is San Antonio, I believe. I think I got that wrong once, and I have a friend in Texas who corrected me toot sweet. But this is the Porter Satchel from Bexar Goods. I think it's one of their first heavy-duty satchels that they made. They've built a couple of other really nice bags since this one. The Hudson Satchel, which is more kind of business-oriented, kind of a little fancier. And then they have the Trapper Satchel, which is kind of a smaller overall satchel, but really nice little bag. I'd love to get my hands on one of those one day, but I can never find it available anywhere. But this is the Porter Satchel. There have been a couple of reviews, 2 or 3 reviews on this bag already that you can see on YouTube by a gentleman named Stacy Robinsmith up in Canada. He did a very comprehensive review, very good job with all of the kind of particulars of it. So we're not going to really get into those things today, but I wanted to show you some of the things that Stacy pointed out that he wasn't really thrilled with, and some of the things that you might be able to do to correct that if you really got to have this bag. And a lot of people do. It's just a fabulous bag, and if you really got to have this but you want it to work better for you, I'm going to show you some kind of inexpensive workarounds that you can employ yourself to make the bag work better for you. And I know there were a couple of things that Stacy didn't like, and I'll point those out to you and let you know what my thoughts are on those as well. So first of all, it's made from a very thick vegetable tanned leather. I think it is 10 to 11 ounce leather. I don't know if this leather is from Wickett and Craig, which is where they get the leather for the Hudson Satchel. This is not that kind of shiny, hard surface bridle leather. It's like a latigo leather, because it doesn't have a ragged suede side, but it's kind of a low sheen. It doesn't have that fancy kind of almost patent leather look to it. It's a low sheen, but very nice, thick, dense leather. It's about as thick a leather that you can use that you could bend into the shape of a bag. So really nice. I love it. It's pretty heavy duty. Let me show you some of the aspects about it that that Stacy kind of had problems with, and I kind of have a couple of issues with it that I'm going to point out to you. First of all, you can carry it like a satchel. You can carry it by the handle here. You can carry it over your shoulder with a shoulder strap, or you can put it into backpack mode, which would be you take the swivel snaps off of the 2 rings on the end here, and you would attach them down here. You'd run this strap, which is really long. It's really long so that you can run it up through this ring here and then back down here, so you can put it in backpack mode. And I'm not really going to demonstrate that now, but basically it's kind of something like that. So the strap has to be really long to accommodate that. And when you have a long strap like that, and I never carry it in backpack mode. I do a lot of hiking in the Sierra. I like to take really long day hikes up to vantage points. But when I do, this is not a bag that I'm going to carry up the trail with me. It's just too darn heavy. It's a big, hefty, heavy bag. And by the time you put your lunch in there and your water and your trail mix and your camera and your field glasses and first aid kit and your journal or whatever else you're going to carry, this thing is going to be 25 pounds on your back. And when I go hiking, I am going to want to be more comfortable than that, and so I carry a very lightweight nylon bag. The lightest bag known to man is what I'm going to carry. I don't care necessarily what I look like. when I'm hiking. I don't care if people are going to go, hey, Jim, why are you carrying that ugly nylon bag? Not some fancy leather bag. But this can be used for people who hike on trails, but are carrying perhaps some delicate instruments, some geological instruments, some I don't know, some other kind of instruments that they need to employ on their job, and they need to be out in the rough, and they want the best protection there is. Well, this is it. This is the best protection you're going to find if you want to put it into backpack mode, and your contents are very expensive and important, and you want to protect them. By far, this is the best that you're going to get. One of the things I don't particularly care about this, Stacy didn't mention it, but I will, because he, I believe, carried it mostly in backpack mode. Let me get this. There we go. First of all, is this piece here, it looks like a shoulder strap, I know. But it doesn't really function like a shoulder strap because it's just one thin piece of leather, so it doesn't really distribute the weight across your shoulder because there's no structure to it. I prefer to have two pieces of leather, so another piece of leather is the exact size sewn on the back here, perhaps a little bit thicker, so it gives it some more structure and the ability to spread the weight out a little over a little greater portion of your shoulder for comfort. So this, it doesn't really do that. They might have made it one piece like this so that it could slip through this ring here more easily, but it doesn't really function that well, in my opinion, as a shoulder strap. And then these bits on the end here, they kind of curl up like that, so when you slip this on your shoulder, it kind of goes like that, and then you kind of have to readjust it and lift it up and do that, and then start on your way. And I don't want to be bothered with that. Also, I would prefer if there were some keepers, some leather keepers, one or two along this portion here. What I've done, as you can see, is I put a Chicago screw in there. So when this strap is at the length which is appropriate for me to carry it over my shoulder, all of this piece here would be flopping all around the place. That would drive me bonkers. So I had to do that. So I prefer a keeper here and maybe a keeper here, and then the same on this side, so I didn't have to use these Chicago screws. That's really my only complaint with this bag is that shoulder strap. I prefer it to be more of an engineered shoulder strap with a padding or the ability to distribute that weight out over a greater area of the shoulder for comfort. One of the things that Stacy didn't like was the fact that when you, where it's buckled at, they're not roller buckles, they're just solid brass buckles. That doesn't bother me one bit because nothing's ever going to happen to those. But Stacy wasn't liking the fact that this rivet right here, copper rivet, was so close to the buckle, because when you close the bag and you want to put the strap through here, you kind of have to push down right there, and he was concerned that maybe it might be a weak point at some point and tear away from the bag, and he could be right. That could probably happen over time, but this leather is just so darn thick. Even this leather for the strap here is so darn thick, and we're only talking one perforation, one hole for that copper rivet. It might be a problem, but it's probably not going to be your problem. It might be your grandkids or great-grandkids' problem. I don't think that's ever going to pull away. Maybe if you have a whole bunch of weight in this bag every day and you're doing that for years and years, but I personally don't see that happening. I'm not at all concerned or bothered by that. But one of his other kind of complaints, which is a concern for me and for a lot of people, if you love this bag and have to have this bag, and I certainly don't blame you, there is absolutely no organization in this bag. There's not even a pen loop in there. It's just one big open bag. There's nothing in there. You just throw your stuff in there, it goes down to the bottom and gets lost. Your pens, your you know, whatever small things, a lighter, paper clips, keys. If you put it in there along with some big items, it's gone. You're going to have to fumble around like you're looking in a hobo bag, like a purse or something, to find your stuff. What I do is I just use one of these insert organizers made by a very, very nice lady on Etsy. Her shop is called 47th Heaven. Made out of heavy-duty nylon. It's a pocket for everything you could possibly need. So I'll pull it out, show it to you. There we go. Let me close the flap here. Okay, so in here, I mean, you got all your stuff. It's all neatly organized. So, you know, your glasses, your wallet, your field notes, day timer. This is a little, like a kit that I have a bunch of little tiny items in, cables and stuff like that. This is a first aid kit from Leatherbuilt. I think it's called the Franklin kit, if I'm not mistaken. Leather pouch is made by Gefeller, and then it's filled with all kinds of neat first aid items that you might use. And then there's these little pockets for, here's place, you know, pen loops for your pens, flashlight, Leatherman tool. So if you like this bag, and you gotta have this bag, but you need organization too, just pick yourself up one of these. They're relatively inexpensive. They're heavy duty. It's going to last you for a long time. Instant organization. You can pull it out of one bag and stick it into another. So again, super nice, heavy duty bag. There isn't another bag that I know of that is built tougher than this thing. The closest thing would probably be the Thrux Lawrence Dispatch Brief, which is made out of canvas and leather. The leather is as thick as this, and the canvas is 24 ounce. It might even be heavier than that, but it's pretty heavy duty. But for an all leather bag, this is as tough as you're going to get. Okay. Another thing Stacy wasn't keen on was he uses a little carabiner and hangs his keys from this loop here. He uses it in backpack mode, so that's not being used, and so he'd use his keys there, and then they would dangle, you know, make noise and bang around. And so I just employ one of these little very inexpensive keepers here that you can get anywhere. You can get them from Amazon. You can get them basically anywhere. It's just a little metal thing that you put on your belt, and then I put a little brass loop on there, a little brass O-ring, and you can hang your keys like that, and they're out of the way and no problem. So super nice, heavy duty. The thickest leather, I mean, the leather is just so darn thick, and all the points are, stress points are riveted. It's just a heck of a nice bag. I've heard a comment where somebody didn't particularly care for how few stitches there were here. That doesn't bother me at all. Here's why I think that. Whenever you put a hole in a piece of leather, that becomes the weakest part of the leather. And so this is 2 stitches per inch. If you doubled that or tripled that, you're going to have a lot more holes, and this will become basically a perforation line in the leather. And if you shove this pocket full of all kinds of stuff year after year, I don't know if it would happen, but it's possible that these stitches, if you had a whole bunch of them, a lot more than these, could possibly be stressed to the point where they eat into the leather and maybe open up a gap down here that that could possibly happen. I don't think it would, but the few number of stitches here doesn't bother me at all. I think they did it mainly to match the stitches up here on the handle. The bag is put together so well, it's just not a concern. Shouldn't be a reason for concern for you either. So a beautiful bag. There is a link below if you want to look up Bexar Goods yourself. Porter Satchel. It's in the $600 to $700 range, so it's not inexpensive. It's not terribly over expensive. I think it's definitely the price is commensurate with what you get. This thing is going to last you basically for the rest of your life, and then the life of whomever you give it to. I don't think it is ever going to be damaged. I bought this one on the secondary market. I bought it. It wasn't new when I got it. I was a little bit concerned because when you buy, used leather goods, you never know what you're going to get. But as soon as I opened the box and pulled this out, I was just instantly relieved because even though it's been used by someone a lot before I got it, there's just no concern. I don't think you could possibly damage it. So if you want to pick one of these up new or on the secondary market, feel free. I don't think you can do any wrong. It's just so overbuilt that even if you were sliding down trails on your butt and this thing was scratching on the trail on the way down a hill, I don't think you can hurt it. You might maybe scratch it a little bit, but I don't think you could ever hurt this bag. It's just not that kind of a foo-foo bag. This is definitely hardcore, heavy-duty, thick, durable leather that will last forever. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. And I thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.